So once again, verbatim, for people that are fucking blind, I agree that Honkai Star Rail power creep exists, right? This is not a riddle. This is not solve this puzzle. This is quite literally verbatim exactly what I said, right? There's nothing to decipher here. So it is quite shocking to me that there are people trying to misconstrue my points within the first, not even five, the first 4 words. It is a little bit ridiculous.
What the hell did I just listen to? I'm actually glad that I've returned to content creation around this time, because there's an interesting discourse ongoing within the community regarding power creep and HP inflation. I first heard about it from my Discord member, but apparently I've missed a significant portion of the discussion. What happens out there is wild, and one of the central figures in this shitstorm is Mr. Pokey. So 2 days ago, he tweeted something like this, and a lot of people are mad. However, he didn't want to admit that he's said something stupid. Instead, he made a 1.5-hour video explaining the correct interpretation of his tweet and accusing those who criticized him of having reading comprehension issues. Seriously, guys, watch that video because it's so funny. His clarification is even more absurd than the original tweet. Anyway, I'm not here to prove whether his interpretation is right or wrong. That's none of my business. There is a specific part in his tweet that I think is worth exploring further. Mr. Palki claimed that only greedy or stupid players are facing the power creep problem in Honkai Star Rail. This is the part that enrages people the most. The question is, who was he referring to? According to him, the greedy and stupid part refers to players who pull without proper planning, but still want maximum reward in endgame content. These are the people he targeted with his original tweet. Again, I'm not going to argue about how he interprets the tweet. But when I look at it this way, I half agree with his statement. I agree that players who don't plan their accounts properly shouldn't expect maximum rewards in endgame content. After all, it's called endgame content for a reason. However, I disagree with the notion that only these players face the power creep problem. I plan my account properly, have a solid understanding of the game mechanics, and consistently get maximum rewards every patch. But still, as discussed in the previous video, I also feel the impact of power creep and HP inflation. I believe many non-casual players share this concern, whether they admit it or not. Power creep exists, and everybody feels it. It's just a matter of who gets impacted the most based on the state of their account. Proper planning isn't the solution. It just makes you feel better and superior over those who struggle more and feel entitled to make a tweet like this. Proper planning is like spraying ethyl chloride on an injured football player's leg. No, it doesn't magically heal the injury. The magic spray only temporarily numbs the pain so they can keep playing. The real issue lies with Hoyoverse's development team, so only they can fix it. Besides, what even constitutes proper planning? Is chasing meta characters the only thing considered as proper planning? If that's what you believe, then you have it backwards. Gacha games are collection-based games. Most people play them to collect characters they like, while being pro at it is a secondary goal after they've acquired their favorites. That's why you see some players call themselves Sealy main, Fei Xiao main, Kafka main, etc. They love those characters and want to build strategies around them. These players aren't noobs. They understand the game, but prioritize their favorite characters over pure meta. For them, favoritism comes first, and optimization follows. Of course, there are always outliers who prioritize meta like Mr. Pokey, but most players don't think that way. Heck, even I still have favorite characters despite being a tryhard. This is why telling players to abandon their favorites for the meta doesn't work, because it goes against the very nature of gacha game itself. Building an account around waifu or husbando is still a form of proper planning. If these characters become irrelevant later in the future, that's not the player's fault. It's the developer's responsibility to maintain game balance and ensure no character is left behind. These players still deserve full rewards in endgame content. To me, a lack of proper planning means pulling for characters at random, getting baited whenever you have enough jades, and ending up with a roster that has no synergy. Do such players exist? Probably. But did they do that purely out of stupidity or greed? Not exactly. Let's be real. After releasing several games and all of them dominating the revenue chart every month, we should all acknowledge one thing. Hoyoverse is a master of advertising. They know how to make every new character look irresistibly appealing. It's like they've inherited Steve Jobs' superpower from 2007 when he seemingly had the ability to sell anything, even garbage. But do you know what's ironic? Some content creators, including Mr. Pocky and, let's be honest, myself, are actually helping Hoyoverse sell these characters. So seeing him criticize players for pulling out of FOMO is kind of hilarious, because he got paid to create that very feeling of FOMO. I mean, just look at the videos these creators publish when reviewing new characters from the early access server. They're screaming their lungs out, showcasing flashy big numbers, and pulling off zero-cycle clears with those characters. Can you imagine what the players feel when watching those videos? Hoyoverse want to maximize profit even if the character released isn't future-proof. To achieve that, they use their money to daily brainwash and manipulate the chemical reaction inside our brain, all to increase the chance that we will pull in their next banner. Some players are bound to fall for it. It's inevitable. So I don't think it's wise to put the blame on them. They're merely victims. And Mr. Palki, why is he acting like some kind of messiah here when they're his victims too? Let's put all the blame on Hoyoverse because it's their responsibility to ensure balance in the game. Instead of telling players to do this and not to do that, pushing Hoyoverse to change is the better way. They could learn a thing or two from other gacha games, like Arknights or Fate Grand Order. These games succeed with content that caters to player favoritism while still being challenging. Actual challenge, not some bullshit like HP inflation. And they've managed to thrive for years. Fate Grand Order, especially, is still competing with the top dogs on the revenue charts, even after being 10 years old. Surely, Honkai Star Rail can copy-paste some of their tricks, right?